Welcome to Wasn Wire. Today we're talking about the Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia Youth Wing's strong condemnation of the Ministry of Education's recent decision regarding students accused of heinous crimes. This controversy has really crystallized a fundamental conflict, hasn't it? How do you balance the universal right to education against, well, the need for immediate justice when something this extreme is alleged?
Absolutely. It's a major point of contention.
So let's just lay out the situation immediately for everyone. The Ministry of Education, the MOE, they've decided that 4 Form 5 students can sit for their SPM exams. And these are students currently under investigation for the alleged gang rape of a Form 3 girl.
That's the core of it, allowing them to take this major national exam while facing these incredibly serious allegations. It's definitely ignited a firestorm, politically and publicly.
Right.
And the main voice really driving the criticism is Muhammad Haris Idahim Abdul Rashid. He's the publicity chief for the Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia Youth Wing. His stance is, well, very direct. He's saying the ministry's action is just too soft, permissive even.
Yeah.
And that it signals a basic failure to have any kind of credible zero-tolerance approach to campus crime. What's interesting, I think, is that this isn't just about the students involved. It's a broader critique of what he sees as institutional paralysis.
He argues the ministry is sending completely the wrong message here. That's his main point. By letting these students just sit for exams like normal, Harris believes the system is, in effect, allowing them to carry on life as normal, kind of minimizing how serious this is.
While the alleged victim is left dealing with, unimaginable trauma and shame.
Precisely. And Harris's argument is pretty straightforward. If the consequence for an alleged crime this severe is basically no immediate disruption to your life goals, well, where's the deterrent?
Which forces us, then, to look at the intersection of law and policy. It's complicated.
It is.
We have to acknowledge the technical legal reality, which Harris himself actually mentions. These 4 students haven't been convicted yet. Not under Section 375B of the Penal Code, anyway, which covers rape.
And that section carries heavy penalties. Up to 30 years, whipping.
Serious consequences. So the ministry is likely leaning on that principle of due process, innocent until proven guilty, and arguing that education is a fundamental right.
But Harris counters that directly. He says you just can't hide behind education is everyone's right when the alleged crime is this extreme, something that shocked the whole country. His focus is more on institutional integrity, on safety. He's arguing the severity, even just the alleged severity, demands an immediate, visible separation from the normal school setting.
Now, to be fair and look at it from the ministry's perspective, there's a massive legal risk for them, too.
Okay, how so?
Well, if the MOE were to just unilaterally bar these students from the SPM before a conviction, it'd essentially be acting as judge and jury.
Yes.
Right. That could open them up to huge lawsuits. Serious legal liability based on the constitutional right to education. Plus, the defense could argue that the MOE's action prejudiced the criminal trial itself.
Potentially compromising the judicial process.
Exactly. It's a classic bind between being legally cautious and, well, what might seem politically necessary or responsive.
That context definitely helps understand why the ministry might seem hesitant. But Harris, he's leveraging the actual details of the alleged crime, which are, frankly, shocking.
Yes, he is. He specifically highlighted elements that suggest it was premeditated, organized even, not just a spur-of-the-moment thing.
He sort of broke down the alleged roles, didn't he?
He did, systematically.
Yeah.
Some allegedly responsible for the assault itself, others for recording it, some standing lookout.
And then others for spreading the video afterwards.
That alleged level of planning, organization, and malice, which Harris clearly believes is evident, makes the argument for just maintaining the status quo really difficult for many people to accept.
And this is where the critique of institutional failure really hits home. The location.
Right. The crime allegedly happened inside a classroom during school hours.
Think about that. A classroom. It's supposed to be the safest place in a school, isn't it? A sanctuary for learning.
For something like this to allegedly happen within those walls, Harris argues it points to a fundamental breakdown of security, of trust, within the school itself.
And that specific detail, the classroom setting, acts as a powerful bridge to his wider criticism of how the Ministry of Education handles campus crime overall.
Exactly. He connects this specific instance of perceived leniency to what he sees as a surge in violence and bullying more broadly.
He mentioned increases not just in regular secondary schools, but even in places like the MRA Junior Science Colleges, the MRSMs.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He paints a picture where this pattern of, let's call it perceived leniency, emboldens students who might commit crimes.
He even brought up past incidents, referencing the tragedy surrounding the Zahara Kailina death, arguing there's a history here.
A history of inadequate consequences leading, he argues, directly to this current situation. The core analysis is, if the MOE doesn't show a real zero-tolerance stance, prove they're absolutely uncompromising, then student criminals won't believe serious consequences will ever actually happen within the school system.
Okay, so condemning the decision is one thing, but what's the alternative? What does Mohammed Harris Idaham Abdul Rashid actually propose they do?
He was very specific, which is often smart politics. He demanded that these 4 students, the ones under investigation, should be completely barred from sitting the SPM this November. Immediately.
A total immediate ban. That's very direct.
Extremely direct. But he didn't just leave it there. He also tried to map out a path forward if they are eventually found guilty by the courts.
Okay, what was that path?
He suggested that if convicted, they could still sit for the SPM, but later, and it would have to be at a reform institution. He specifically named the Henry Gurney School in Malacca as a potential place for them to continue studies.
Right, so education isn't totally denied, but it's conditional.
Exactly. It's a clever political framing. It shifts the debate from denying education outright, which is legally tricky, to recontextualizing it. Education becomes something you earn through compliance, not an absolute right when facing accusations this severe.
But does that proposal hold up practically?
Well, that's the question. It raises huge practical issues. Is a place like Henry Gurney School actually set up to manage a major national exam like the SPM, Security Administration? It's complex.
And what happens if they are barred now, but then later acquitted by the courts?
That's the other major risk. The MOE could be accused of unjustly denying or delaying their education based on accusations, not convictions. It's still a legal minefield.
Despite those complexities, Harris didn't shy away from turning this into a direct political attack, did he? Aimed right at the education minister.
No, he didn't. He aimed squarely at Minister Fadlina Siddiq.
What was the specific charge?
He explicitly urged her to stop focusing on, as he put it, pleasing the Prime Minister. He used phrases like, "Happy birthday, PMX, we love you, PMX," as examples of, well, political flattery, I suppose.
Wow, okay.
And instead, he demanded she focus her energy on real, concrete action, on showing resolve to combat campus crime. He essentially framed it as her needing to prove her capability, not just to the public, but specifically to the Prime Minister himself.
So wrapping this up, it really forces a difficult national conversation. You've got these two fundamental ideas clashing.
Absolutely. On one hand, due process, innocent until proven guilty, the right to education. On the other, this deep societal need for immediate, strong action when serious crime is alleged in schools, places meant to be safe.
And the ministry's decision here just throws those two pillars into painful, direct conflict.
It really does. And it leaves us all with a tough question to consider. When following due process feels like it might be failing the victim or undermining the school's safety, which institution should step in first, the courts or the schools themselves? Where does that immediate responsibility lie?
That's a critical point to reflect on. What action do you think is necessary when a case is this severe, even before a final verdict? Let us know your thoughts. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.